You guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Kai Lavea once more. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We just reached 1K views. Now we just need to get the watch hours up. You know, shout out to All Asian Dilemmas as well, because we're going to play a quick snippet, review a snippet of a popular Chinese dating game show. I mean, you might as well call it their version of the Love Connection. But this woman that came on the show is a little larger than your average Chinese woman. Mind you, this woman in this video is pretty much the average American woman. But let's go ahead and roll the clip.
生活方面中的原因，
我喜欢我能抱得动的姑娘，但这个我
He said, I like girls I could lift in my arms, but I think that's my problem. It has nothing to do with you. But in reality, it does, because you can't lift her. Not only can you not lift her, you probably don't have the right equipment to, you know, work up them bedroom skills. But anyway.
我觉得是我的问题，跟你没有关系。
In one of the most talked about episodes of a Chinese dating show, a contestant caught everyone's attention the moment she stepped on stage. She was a cheerful, confident woman weighing around 200 pounds.
200 pounds. And like I said, most women in America are over 200 pounds, especially with age, children, and everything else. And yeah.
Or, as Americans would say, plus size. The host asked the men on stage what they thought was the ideal weight for a partner. One of them replied coldly, anything under 150 pounds.
Now, if he was in America, he would get canceled just for saying that. That's highly offensive, talking about weight in America. It's just a very sensitive topic.
120, 140 at most. 200 is way too heavy. The studio fell silent.
I mean, the girl loves to eat. Okay, I like her appetite. All right.
The camera turned to her, the 200-pound woman, who smiled faintly, her gaze steady. So, I guess I weigh twice as much as what you consider ideal. Since childhood, she had always been larger than other girls her age. She understood that men are visual creatures, drawn to long legs, slim waists, and delicate faces. But the kind of impression she left was different. I know I'm not like the others, she said. But being chubby isn't a crime against beauty. No one has ever called me ugly.
No, but it's a crime against health, though. Because when it comes to good health, your heart doesn't care that you don't think there's anything wrong with being big. Because, you know, from a long-term factor, if she meets a long-term partner, they're going to talk her into losing weight, because you're going to have a heart attack at some point being that big later on in your life. So you might think it's cute right now, but at some point you're going to have to slim it down as health concerns arise.
Everyone says that when I get ready, I look beautiful. And it's true, she loves taking care of herself. She gets eyelash extensions, maintains her skin, and runs an online store selling Korean-style clothing.
All right, so she got some business to her. So she's not lazy. Maybe she just has a bigger appetite than the average woman over there in China. I mean, she's not bad looking, no.
Whenever she sees something stylish, she gets excited. And like many modern women, she knows how to enhance her photos with editing apps. When I post online, she said with a smile, people comment, wow, what a goddess. But behind the compliments lies a quiet longing.
Uh-oh.
Even so, I still think I'd look prettier if I lost some weight.
So she knows that. Because take a look around you. If you're around a big population of overweight women, have you noticed that those women don't look that bad in the face?
I hired a personal trainer, and when I remember the sweat dripping during a workout, it gives me the strength to control my appetite. And to the guys here, if you turn off my light because of my body, you'll...
And she looks taller than the average guys too, so yeah. She might have to get her a black man though, if she don't lose no pounds.
Regret it for the rest of your lives. The audience laughed, but no one dared question her confidence. Then, the host showed the photos she had sent to the show, all perfectly retouched. You edited these yourself? Yes, she replied. I use an app on my phone. In 5 minutes, I can make myself look like a doll. Some laughed, others were impressed. But there was something deeper behind that joke. In a world where filters matter more than mirrors, she had learned that to be loved, she first had to be corrected. And perhaps that was the saddest part of all. Because what the audience saw on that stage wasn't just a woman who edited her photos. It was a woman trying to edit her own fate. In a world that still insists that a woman's beauty must fit within the numbers on a scale.
这件事呢是一个自我满足的问题，因为而且有的时候不是说我想修成多美，是因为有的时候真的特别上相，这种事情是没有办法。
On the brightly lit stage of the show.
But see, here's what's going to happen though. Let's say she does start to slim down. She's going to like herself even more. And then this goes towards both men and women. People get cocky as they get in shape and look better than their former larger self, right? Their confidence levels just shoot up, and then they feel like they're on top of the world and they could do anything and everything and pretty much have this person, and that person. So that's exactly what's going to happen if this woman slims down.
The mood seemed lighter after the confident speech of the 200-pound woman. One of the judges, trying to sound friendly, grabbed the microphone and said, "My advice is simple. Try to lose a little weight. After all, being overweight has never been good for your health. And, as you said yourself, when you slim down, let the guys who turned off their lights regret it for the rest of their lives." The audience burst into laughter.
Whoa.
She replied with an awkward smile.
And see, the thing is, that's a little cocky. They're going to regret turning their lights off. You're not the only woman in the world. Like, there's more women than there is men. So it's not like at some point people are going to forget about you. So why would they regret turning their light off when they can meet somebody like you, similar to you on a daily basis?
Thank you, thank you. But the mood quickly shifted. Contestant number 9 decided to speak up, with that tone of fake curiosity that's really just a way to provoke. "Can I ask you something? You said you've been working out and trying to lose weight, but in the video, it looked like you still can't control your appetite."
Ooh, shots fired. And like I said, in America, these are the typical women that most black guys end up settling for. I mean, I guess it's not terrible, but I mean, and that's pretty much the stereotype of black men in America. They go after the bigger girls. So women in these countries, they gravitate towards black guys because they will accept them for being overweight and not what the average male pretty much wants in a woman physically. Because it seems like both white men and Asian men want the same thing. Somebody that's slim and in shape, and they won't accept anything else. So pretty much, it's like the black man is pretty much known as the cleanup man, which would take the leftovers and the single mothers and all that.
You're still always eating. Could it be that, after editing your photos so much, you've started to believe you're already pretty enough and lost the motivation to change?
Ooh.
The audience reacted half amused, half uncomfortable. Some laughed, others pretended not to hear. She stayed silent for a moment.
And see, keep in mind that being this big in Asian countries is not normal. If she flies over to the United States, or maybe even London or somewhere, this won't be much of a problem because there's several guys that'll take her in. And then the automatic assumption is she won't play that many games because she's overweight and most guys don't want her. That's not true, because there's women like 2-3 times bigger than her and will still cheat and mess around with other guys while they're in a relationship. So don't get it twisted. If anything, these women have sex just about as much as regular sized women under the weight of 180 pounds.
Staring at the floor, the question hit hard, not because it was unfair, but because it carried poison in every word. That moment made it clear what kind of romance the show was really selling. No one there was looking for love, they were testing limits. She became the target, not the contender. The girl from the photos, the confident plus-size woman, had turned into the night's experiment. And that stage, supposedly built to bring hearts together, showed its true nature. A ring of vanity, where every so-called piece of advice is just a polite way of saying, you're not good enough.
产生那种错觉，
这个倒不会，因为其实，有的时候减肥，我觉得每个女生都会有一种这样的心理，不是我们太弱，是因为我们的敌人太强大，因为好吃的世界上实在是太多。
The show went on, and the atmosphere had turned into pure entertainment, half reality show, half public judgment. After the debate about appearances, one of the judges decided to give his motivational advice.
Uh-oh.
You're not perfect. That's why you edit your photos.
But see, here's the thing. When it comes to, if you guys are on dating apps, this is the exact issue. People over edit their photos and they stand at the perfect angle, taking 200-300 snapshots until they get that perfect angle to where they look a little slimmer than what they are. You don't know how old these pictures are. That's why if you're smart, just as a man, just somehow become high value and avoid these dating apps. And shit, if you have to, mess around with your colleagues, but stay off the dating apps.
But why not change for real instead of depending on filters? She replied with a hint of irony.
Uh-oh.
I am trying to lose weight. If I had a boyfriend, I'd be even more motivated, right? Imagine him saying, when you hit 180 pounds, we'll get married.
No, we all know it don't work like that. What's going to happen is when her boyfriend tries to convince her to lose weight, her automatic response is, accept me for how I am. At least that's what she would say if she was in America. But maybe in China, it's a little different.
Boom, I'd be there in 2 weeks. The audience burst into laughter.
Damn.
But before the topic could fade, contestant number 13 decided to share a personal story. Once I met a girl online. Her pictures were stunning, almost unreal. We planned to meet in person. When I arrived and called her, I heard a voice behind me. Hey, I'm over here. I turned around and said, I just got into an accident, don't wait for me. And I left. The crowd exploded in laughter. For us men, he continued, it feels like deception. But from a woman's perspective, it's painful. Because the guy claimed he didn't care about looks. Yet the moment he saw her real face, he vanished. Another judge jumped in. In my day, there were no filters. If you're meeting someone, sooner or later you'll face them in person. So why turn yourself into a model in your photos? Better to look plain right away. That way, he might actually be pleasantly surprised when you meet. Laughter echoed through the studio. Now, if you show up looking perfect and the reality doesn't match, the shock's too big, the host added. Another contestant joined in. Here's some advice. When you finally get slim and gorgeous like lightning, you'll have men all around you.
And that's where they get cocky. So it's vice versa.
And by then, you won't even remember wanting revenge on those who rejected you. She laughed and said, yeah, I guess that would be the best outcome. The conversation then shifted into that familiar barroom philosophy tone. Everyone says only men are visual, said one of the judges. But tell me, if you're traveling and see 2 hotels, one beautiful and one falling apart, which one do you pick? Of course the beautiful one, she answered. Exactly. Then you're visual too. We all are. And that's how the debate ended, with laughter, irony, and the same old truth. No one there was really
Now see, this is the aim for most guys. Most guys want a girl that looks like this. Big googly eyes, small frame, and somebody you could put over your shoulder. But we all know most of the time that's unrealistic, or the average guy just doesn't have the reach to get these type of women unless they're 50 years old making $200,000-$300,000 a year. But yeah, the average 25-year-old is not going to get a woman like this.
Talking about love. The show had become a mirror of the real world. Men trying to sound wise, women defending their looks, and everyone pretending to search for sincerity, while secretly competing to see who can fake it better.
I'll entertain it. Send her out my way. I got the equipment. Most people over there don't.
With fewer filters.
Interesting clip, you guys. Hopefully this will broaden people's thoughts versus small people and big people. Big is unhealthy. Small is healthy, but you still have to watch it. You still have to eat right if you are small. So people are so picky about physique, whatever. And a lot of times, you're not going to get the person you really want. Let's just be real. Not unless you have everything. Not unless you're a trust fund baby. Not unless you make $1 million a year. I don't know. So this is really something to look at. Like I said, this is not much of an issue in China, but it's a large issue over here in the West. But who cares, right? It is what it is. This is Kai LaVeo. I'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye.